people, how are you all? I hope you're well and welcome back! In today's video, as I'm sure you've noticed, I'm painting some sketchbook covers to take with me to uni in September. I have two A4 sketchbooks, one ring-bound and one with like a proper spine on it, and I honestly have no idea which one will be more suitable or useful when I get there, given I don't know whether we'll be using them for like documentation, similar to how I did on my foundation course, or just like observational drawings only, or whether we'll be doing character designs or whatever in them. I really have no idea. The equipment list actually suggested I bring various sketchbooks of different sizes, but I will probably supplement my collection by buying some more when I get there and I know exactly what they want. There was a suggestion they wanted an A2 sketchbook. I'm really hoping that was a typo and they meant A3, because A2 is so stupidly big, but I suppose we will have to see. But for now, I just wanted to work on decorating these as a starting point to basically give me one less job for when I get there. And I figured I would record them, and record them both simultaneously, as I am not a very patient person, and so having two paintings to work on gives both more time to dry without me getting bored and messing it up, and also means there's always something happening rather than just being long bits of camera of me sitting there waiting things for dry that I then have to edit out later. Instead of there just being long bits of camera where I'm kind of sitting around waiting for it to dry and then having to edit all that out later, which would just be like a whole mess. I started by doing a whitewash and the sketches for each of the drawings I was going to do off of camera, because those are very boring, non-interesting activities that just sort of needed to be done. It was going to take me forever to get the sketches right. I was like, let's just do that when it's not recording so that you don't have to see how many times I mess up. This is actually the first time I've started a sketchbook painting with a white layer at the bottom, and it definitely made a huge difference in terms of getting the colours to show up properly and making it easier to follow my sketch. The black covers kind of just seem to drain the life out of all the colour I put down, and I've had instances in the past where I've had to put so much paint on just to get it to show up, whereas one layer of white made so much difference. I've been painting on my personal sketchbook covers for a while now, as well as my foundation sketchbooks last year. I think the main thing I've picked up and learnt from all this is that they tend to look a lot better if I don't draw faces and detailed people on them, which is bit counterintuitive really, because faces is what I tend to be best at. I mean, I'm by no means excellent at them, but I'm better at faces than I am at a lot of other things. But with acrylics, the sketch just gets obscured so quickly that you can't tell what the drawing is after about 3 seconds. So I tried something different here. On the left is a forest scene from a photo I took up in Scotland earlier this year with two characters walking away from the camera, who were originally my siblings, but I've tried to replace them with some of my own characters. And on the right is a ship at sunset. The sketch of the ship, I will admit, was traced from a screenshot of the show Our Flag Means Death. I don't usually trace, but I have no idea how to draw ships, and I kind of just wanted to get to the fun bit of painting. I'm glad I did trace it, because I think the ship has probably turned out much better than it would have if I tried to do it myself, because perspective is a nightmare. I'm pretty happy with how both paintings turned out, but I do have to admit I prefer the ship painting. Probably because the background was so simple here, unlike the forest scene where I had to try to do details, which I'm famously bad at. I also had trouble, as I often do when painting anything, to get thin enough brush strokes for things like blades of grass and details on trees, and it just wasn't kind of happening, so the whole piece looks a little bit blocky and unfinished, which I feel kind of bad about. But hey, it's just meant to be a nice sketchbook cover, and the colours are pretty, so it doesn't matter too much if it's a masterpiece or not. It doesn't help that last time I did a backgroundy style sketchbook cover, I drew from imagination. It was also trees that time, but it meant that I was able to simplify down the image a lot more than this, and I was also working on an A3 sketchbook then, so it had a much bigger area to work with and get into the details more. But hey, you can't win them all. I'm also super proud, though, of the way the ship drawing came out. I love the colours I used, and actually the colours in the photo were a lot more muted than what I ended up doing, and I decided at the last minute to go full Our Flag Means Death style on it and put a proper Blackbeard's flag kind of decoration into the background as like an overlay layer, and it looks very cute and I'm very happy with it. I should also mention that this is probably going to be the last video I post for about a month or so, because in 2 weeks' time I am going back to uni, which reminds me actually I need to remember to pack my microphone. Specifically though, I'm starting my animation degree at Falmouth University. I do fully intend to post a video about what that's like sometime after I arrive, but between freshers and induction week, that isn't likely to happen for a while, and then on top of that, this coming year I will also have a roommate who probably won't appreciate me recording videos at random times of the day, and honestly I'm not sure how comfortable I feel recording whilst they're in the same room as me, so I might have a few kind of scheduling issues trying to work out when I can record the audio for that video. It'll probably just be like whenever our timetables mean that they're not in the room, but it'll take a couple weeks to kind of sort all that out. For those of you who are new to this channel, in the last year or so, I know I had a lot of new subscribers after some of the animatics I made. You might not quite have put all the pieces together from the various videos and times I mentioned it, but that this is my second run at a degree course. My first attempt back in 2020 was a bit of a train crash due to a combination of poor mental health, the global health crisis that must not be named, and the realisation that doing a subject purely because I think I'm good at it and therefore I probably should do it, possibly isn't the best approach to my entire future career, so I dropped out and am restarting this year. Obviously, last year I did my foundation course, so kind of branching over. But because of this, I admittedly have a lot of things I'm a little nervous about for the coming year at uni. The roommate situation is a big one. I didn't intend to have a roommate, but because of the way the rooming situation worked, I got assigned a room with a roommate. I obviously can't afford to not take the student accommodation that's been offered me, so that's just happening. I'm doing a lot better now than I was 2 years ago, but I'm still far from, perfectly okay all the time, and knowing I don't have my own space is admittedly slightly unnerving. It's also just generally disruptive for things like recording these videos, or the fact that I've been teaching myself guitar recently. I have high hopes that whoever I'm sharing with will be lovely and probably only laugh at my musical ineptitude a little bit, and that I will be able to pick up all these activities again after a while, but, those nerves are there nonetheless. I'm also obviously worried about falling back into old habits, not working enough, locking myself in my room away from people, although I suppose that will be practically impossible now that someone's going to be living in that room with me. And, just generally letting myself get swamped by bad vibes. I'll be a 9-hour train ride away from home too, not to mention the inevitable, is my art good enough for this, thoughts, which could really just, completely get lost, because at the end of the day, my portfolio was accepted by the university, so by definition, they must think that my art is good enough that I can learn and get better to the point where, I do well at this degree. But as scary and borderingly terrifying as all of that is, I'm also genuinely really excited. This summer has been going on for so long now, I've almost forgotten how comforting and lovely it was when I was on my foundation course to wake up each day and have a structured timetable of when I was meant to be in the studios and working and getting to see all the lovely, lovely people I met on the course and having set projects and being, given things to do. It makes it sound like I can't motivate myself on my own at all, but to be honest, I kind of can't. I really can't wait to learn more about animation either. The process and techniques and the artistry of it all, the different types of animation. I'm really intrigued to see what CGI is actually like, because I have no frame of reference for doing it as an individual person, and obviously you do it as part of a team, but I don't even know what the steps are. It seems so surreal. I'm really looking forward to as well getting proper structured introduction to life and observational drawings, and have someone actually help me improve my core skills, because let's face it, I've been fudging the anatomy skills for years at this point, and I'd really like to get a chance to properly work, to put in the effort and kind of get my art up to that level. And also, I'm really looking forward to meeting the people. Art students, at Manchester Met at least, seem to be such a lovely, diverse, friendly group of people, and I'm sure the same goes for those in Falmouth. I mean, who knows, maybe this year I'll finally find a friend group to try D&D with, but I want to, I want to meet the people, I want to see what other people love about art, and just very excited. People always talk about the uni experience and how it's meant to be the best time of your life, and honestly, my reality of it has never been kind of further from that ideal. I'm still not entirely sure I can wrap my head around that concept and imagine it truly being as great and fantastic as some people make it out to be. But I am now able to see how it might be good and fun and possibly get close to that ideal. And that's kind of really cool. Anyway, that's enough depressing rambling. Shall we do the satisfying bit here instead and remove the tape? I must admit that the ship painting has turned out stunningly and was very, very satisfying to reveal. But as you're probably about to see, the forest painting tape pulled up some of the black book cover with it, which was a real shame, and I then had to, take a black pen and kind of fix that. So that's a little bit disappointing. But it was really fun taking the tape off. There's something so satisfying about it. But whilst I'm doing this, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like or a comment, and hopefully when I next see you all, it'll be to tell you how awesome the first term of my degree is going. As always, I hope you have a lovely few weeks, and I will see you all soon. Bye!